You know what it is.
When it's blood in the streets, and you remain quiet, don't you come with a speech. When it pop, man down, done by police. Hood cries, you ignore it, don't say nothing to me. When it pop, the hood been crying out, but no one ever hears. Yeah, until they turn it upside down. Now everyone appears. I bring up Trayvon, you say he was a thug. I bring up John Crawford, you say he had a gun. I bring up Eric Garner, you say he was overweight. And you say that Michael Brown should've never tried to run. Do you really not realize that it's a pattern of you not having compassion when these tragedies happen? Isn't it odd? Usually you sympathize with the victim, but this time you just continue to side with the killers. Could it be important to the lie? Yeah, we love the genocide. Though the hood got a record that none of us can deny. Some are killers and others pick it up just to survive. You think you would be as holy if you grew up on this side? No excuses, but you gon' have to tweak your perspective. It's easy being sheep with them sheep are protected. Get around in wolves and them teeth start projecting. Second did you sleep, you can leave.
Jabri gonna use his legs, no sir. Nahshon Richardson. So Nahshon Richardson records a sack on Jabri Jackson. The rookie is just turning up right now. Woo, look at this right here. Jackson trying to bend the corner, and nah, son. Nah, son. Wow.
Until they turn it upside down. Now everyone appears.
You're looking there. I formation. Steamers bringing everybody. And that's going to be Nahshon Richardson with the fumble. Nahshon Richardson with the strip fumble there to shut it down. Oh, my God. What a hit that was. Let's go ahead and see it right here. Oh, yeah. Nahshon Richardson gets down there and lays it down. It's going to be recovered. Wow. Pretty big hit right there.
Look anything like you. Fatherless, oppressed, and the widow, I remind you. Take a look around you. Who does that apply to? Why would the Lord tell you to plead their case? Let's He expected you to ignore the things they say. Like, man, the system mistreat us and the police beat us, but you don't never believe us. Why would I trust your Jesus? Don't you say you love me, show me, homie. Blood in the streets, and you remain quiet, don't you come with a speech. When it pop, man down, done by police. Hood cries, you ignore it, don't say nothing to me. When it pop, the hood been crying out, but no one ever hears. Yeah, until they turn it upside down. Now everyone appears. A year ago, it's Blake Griffin called Donald Sterling a racist. You will look at the team and say he exaggerated. Tell him to quit complaining, like how is he racist? Look at the money you're making. Why we delusional till we tape it? 12% of America, 40% of prison. 1 in every 3 of us are paid a prison to visit. Doing 60% more time for the same offenses. You reply, that's BS, I don't believe them statistics. I just want you to listen. You think I'm saying you did it. I don't see your compassion, I just see you get defensive. It's a problem. You thinking that I'm trying to say it's you. Really, I just want for you to have a problem with it too. Picture us growing up in the crib together as brothers. Parents treating us different. You say I'm tripping, it's nothing. But when you sleep, he touch me where he ain't supposed to be touching. But when I tell you he does it, you look at me like I'm bugging. I'm telling you he mistreats me. When you ain't looking, he beats me. And you keep saying we brothers, but you don't never believe me. So when you see the division, it ain't all on Pops. It ain't about what he did to me, it's about your response. We just want for you to cry with us and quit telling us we ain't justified in our feelings. So when you reply, this is not the 50s biz, all I hear is you replying the same way people back in the 50s did. This ain't the 20s biz. Blood in the streets, and you remain quiet, don't you come with a speech. When it pop, man down, done by police. Hood cries, you ignore it, don't say nothing to me. When it pop, the hood been crying out, but no one ever hears. Yeah, until they turn it upside down. Now everyone appears. Yeah.
If I were to ask you, do you believe that folks of color had equal opportunity and were treated equally in this country in 1963? Or whether or not black children were treated equally in schools and had equal educational opportunity in 1962? I know right now that no one in here would say, well, of course, naturally they did. 1963, that was a damn good year to be black or brown in America. What are you talking about? Everyone, regardless of your position about 2007, would quickly acknowledge how bad it was back in the day. much no sweat off your back. 44, 45 years later, it's easy to talk about how bad it was, but now see, here's the trick. What do you think white folks said when those very questions were put to them in 1963 and in 1962? At a time when the apartheid system in this country was very much in full effect. It was before the Civil Rights Act, before the Voting Rights Act, before the Fair Housing Act. In retrospect, we can all look back and say how profoundly unequal it was. How profoundly unequal it was. And yet when white folks were asked, some of them our parents, our grandparents, great uncles, great aunts, these ancestors of ours, were asked the very same question in 1963. Do you think that racial minorities are treated equally in your community? And 80% of white folks said yes. In 1962, when Gallup asked, do you think that black children receive equal educational opportunity in your community? 90% approximately of white folks said yes. Nothing to see here. What is all this complaining? What is this march on Washington? I don't get it. I don't understand it. The idea that this country was ready to hear this, even at the time when we know how vicious it was, is a lie. What does it say that white folks were in denial in 62 and 63? What does it say that if you'd gone back to the 30s and asked the question? You think white folks were clear then? Denial. In every generation. 2007, 1963, the 30s, the 1890s, the 1850s. My point being that in every generation, members of the dominant group have said there is no problem. And in every generation, without fail, we have been wrong. And in every generation, people of color, those who are the targets of that oppression and subordination, have said there is a problem. And in every generation, without fail, they have been right.